Let me show you this report that just came out. It seems like today or maybe yesterday from the Peter G. Peterson Foundation. Now, Peterson used to be part of the Federal Reserve Board and big mucky muck in Washington, and actually wrote a book that I refer to a lot because it said how much money the government spends for different things that we don't know. Like that. That's the guy who showed me that we only spend like 12% of the money that we give out in programs goes to low income people. The rest go to everybody. So there's things like that that people don't know. And like 80% of the money has no income requirements at all. So he just did a big study now on where the COVID money went. So this is the $2 trillion, that is out now. And actually, if you go down here, and if you go to, it's at pgpf.org, pgpf.org. That's the website that he has it on. And what's interesting, though, how much is spent so far? In other words, here, they spent so far 1.7 trillion. There's a total of almost 2 trillion. So they got about 20 some trillion left that they haven't spent. This is what they're talking about. As some of the people are complaining about the new money they want to spend on the stimulus when they haven't spent all the old one. And there's like $400 billion yet to spend. 400 billion. That actually is about 450. That's half a trillion yet. And it's going out slowly through the states and local governments and stuff like that. That's why what I'm showing you a lot of times now is how to do Google searches to find out where this stuff is locally, because it's not coming from Washington in one big program. It's going to the states, and they're giving it out for rental and for businesses and mortgage payments. But here's an interesting thing. Oh, actually, here it is. Here's how much states got. Okay. See, and the darker states got more money. And actually, they got between about 3.7 thousand to 7.6 thousand per capita per state. Okay. Per capita is per person. Now, usually, I talk about the money that's given out, about 20 some $1,000. That's per household. So you got about 2.5 people in a household. So what you have to do is take that money here, it's like 7,000, and multiply it by 2.5, and you get how much the average household is getting. Actually, if you get it all the three and all that, it's something like, about $14,000 that the average household, not person, household that is getting from COVID. That's grant money. Okay, now here's on top how it's distributed. Here's all the programs. That's total per capita here. So like Alabama got 19, that's all in millions. So this is 219 million, so that's billions. So Alabama got $19 billion. That's 3,000 per capita. Now, if you do 2.5 times, then that's like $10,000 per household. Alaska, Arizona, look at, they got 32. Look at California. Yeah, they got 230 billion. So the per capita is certainly up to 6,000. So that's almost double, not really double, but at least 40% more, or actually 60% more, 70% more, something like that, than what got in Alabama. So they have it for each state, what they got, all the way down below, and then by program. So here's a Paycheck Protection Program. So people in Alabama got an average of $6,000 per person. Emergency Injury Disaster Loans, remember that EIPL? They got almost $2,000 from that. Economic impact payments, not sure which one that is, but that's $4,000 a person. Federal pandemic unemployment compensation, that's the new stuff. So they got, $2,000 per person. Provider relief fund, that's the people, I guess, taking care of people. That's, $1,000, and so on, and so on, and so on, all the things. So that's why I would take a look at this. See, because if you're not getting, your household isn't getting $14,000, then you're missing something, right? you didn't know how to do it or whatever. And remember, if you haven't got that $14,000 yet, then there is still, $200 billion that's going to be given out. Okay. Now, so where do you go to find out about this stuff? Okay. Well, a lot of it's going to be coming to the states and local and county and city and local nonprofits. So that's why I've been teaching you how to sign up for Google Alerts, and sign up not for just a one alert like grants or something. No, go for all the problems you have. Do a Google alert on grants for rent, grants for mortgage, grants for business, grants for just emergency. Just put relief is another keyword. Just put a dozen keywords and see what comes up every day. That's where it's going to be. And then it's going to be gone in a few days. Okay. So that's one thing. The other thing you do is you go to your website for your elected officials. And I would do the federal level. You have 2 senators and 1 congressman. So how do you find out who they are? I gave you the phone number. Remember, everybody's calling and you were getting the wrong number because I gave you the wrong number. Boy, I'm an old guy and I keep screwing up. Part of it's just sloppy. I hate details. The other is this thing doesn't fire on all cylinders as much. Actually, I should be running now and I can't. I hurt my knee, man. It's the first time in about 10 years I got an accident. And it wasn't much of an accident. I sprained something. And boy, I don't know if you ever had a sprain in your knee, but I can barely walk. I could work, but I can't walk. Barely. And nothing swollen, no blood, no temperature, nothing. Weird stuff. Learn something new. You live long enough, you keep learning stuff. Okay. So you want to go to commoncause.org. Okay. So if you put in Common Cause, let me see how to get rid of all this stuff here. Common.org. Find your representative. Okay, when that comes in, you put in your address, and all the people will come up with their websites that represent you in the federal and state level. So it's a pretty good list. Start at the federal for these things because most of the COVID stuff came out of the federal government. So a lot of the elected officials have it pretty good. And don't forget your mayor, your governor, they're the other people too that have a lot of stuff. Because they're taking the money, your local elected officials get the money in a lump sum and they give it out how they want it. Well, I think our company, our people need more rent money, so they'll give it out in rent. Or no, I think we need more small business money, and they'll give it out that. So that's why it takes running. So you run alerts or go when you Google, just put the last month, the last week, and see what's there, and try to ignore .com. But some .coms are good, particularly in this COVID. So that's what's going on. I mean, just think, $14,000 per household, man. So that's why normally every household gets about $22,000. So this is an extra $14,000 just on this alone. And more is coming. And people are hurting out there. So it's a game you really got to learn. I noticed here, like in people like Washington, D.C., man, we did very well. Yeah. We got almost $7,000, $8,000 per person, where people in Alabama got $3,000 per person. So some people got in Louisiana got $5,000. Maybe from the hurricanes, they learned how to use the government programs and everything because all the money out there. So they know you have to act fast because most of these pots are not unlimited. North Dakota got $6,000 a piece. Man, they learned the game too. $7,000. Vermont, that's Bernie, isn't it? He's teaching people how to get government programs. Yeah. Wyoming, even strange places that you'd never know. Okay, so that's the news you could use because there's money in them their hills, or actually them their local officials. And that's probably the biggest money that's around now. Nobody else has got any, right? See, and they go down and print some more out. They're ready to do that too with the new stimulus. Talk to you soon.